One word you would use to describe Big League Football 2024.
Intense. I'd say the competition it's the best it's ever been. There isn't really a weak spot in any team.
Oh! It just happened! Wow! Simply wow! Oh! Did that just happen? That was one of the hardest hit balls you will ever see.
Why is Soren not here? What? Why? Welcome to this second semifinal series. Whoever the winner will be championship bound between the 2022 World Series champion Pacific Panthers against last year's champions, the Eastern Extreme. A matchup of immediate past champions. Now that Mason Ferris has done his LA Laker fan impression and decided to show up for the game, we are ready to get started here at Rose Field in what will be the earliest starting series in BLW history. It is almost 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And here in Arizona, nothing wrong with getting started early. With 170 degrees in the forecast. For the Extreme, it will be MVP candidate Brody Livingston. And a guy who surprised the league with his incredible performance at the plate last series, Evan Land. Rounding out the rosters, number 7, the hockey player, the hero of last year's Game 5, the pivotal game that gave the Eastern Extreme the championship, Reed Umar. The Eastern Extreme are the league's number 1 seed. The winner will go on to face the number 2 seed, the Arctic Altitude, who prevailed earlier this week in a very exciting series. Thanks to the walk-off triple from Joey Jankowski, the Altitude will be making their first appearance in a BLW championship. And as is customary, it will be the Southpaw, Brody Livingston, taking the mound. Inexhaustible, inexplicable. That's Livingston's style. But he's going to have quite a challenge today in facing the Pacific Panthers. Team captain Carson Rose has had an incredible year at the plate. Las Vegas resident Logan Christie, whose bat's gotten hot. He's been solid on the mound, and he flew in early to make this semifinal. And finally, the enigma, the unknown, Mason Ferris. He tore up the league last year with his bat, still yet to get on track, but had the pivotal hit against Logan Rose and the Western Wolves to propel his team to the semifinals. Welcome to Rose Field. Welcome to the Final Four. Let's get started. To lead it off here on Saturday morning, August 17th. Livingston typically struggles in the first inning and then finds his rhythm. If you're going to get to him, that's when you got to get to him. 1-0 count to the sophomore to be at Phoenix Country Day. Hit .290 in his freshman year, coming on strong at the plate. 1-0 count. Carson Rose has been getting on base a ton, just missed upstairs.
First warning.
First warning, exceeded the speed limit. Great location from the southpaw. Also joining us in the booth, besides Commissioner Logan Rose, who is Henry Stratton. Good to see him again before he takes off to Boston to resume his hockey career. Very tough pitch from Livingston. He evens the count at 2-2. And Carson Rose just popped it. Oh, what happened there? We thought that was going to the moon. Don't know if it was the wind. He just hit it oddly. Nice defensive play by Evan Land up against the wall. Something is going on. They were confused in warm-ups why the ball wasn't going out more. Carson Rose saying he could not have hit that ball any better. And it did not go very far. What's the count? 0-1.
Okay, let's just pause for a second. All right, there we go. That's good.
We are good to go. 0-1 count to Logan Christie.
Now we're good. All right.
Now we're good. Brody Livingston got a big break on that. Something happening at Rose Field.
You're kidding. Oh my god. It's just not.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay. Play will resume as Commissioner Logan Rose resolves the technical difficulties.
Just throw it. Like now. It's not gonna. You're kidding.
We can see it right here. We can see it.
It should pop up on here.
0-1 count to Logan Christie. 68. Just misses down low. Stream got a break with the swirling wind. Otherwise, Carson Rose's hit might have gone out. And he just paints the black. Nothing a right-hander can do on that one. Nice job by Livingston. 2 quick outs for the Panthers. And it'll be walk-off Wally, Mason Ferris. The late arriver, the Laker. See what he can do. Terrorized the league at the plate last year. Tries to paint it upstairs at 70 miles an hour. Outside again. .28 miles an hour on the throwback. 71 upstairs. We'll be mentioning the velocity more in this telecast.
So
4-0 count. Panthers. And the count. Ferris plays with them. Livingston deals at 71 right down Main Street. 4-1 count now. Reminder, Big League Wiffle Ball has 5 balls and 3 strikes. Ferris chases a sweeper out of the zone, and we're back to full. Down low, the Panthers have their first base runner of the game, and Carson Rose, who hit Livingston well during the regular season, will come to the plate after that near home run caught by Landon left. Down low. Umar still in right. Quick pitches him.
74.
At 74, he's already had 1 warning in this inning. 2-0 count to Rose. Hitters count. Swings and misses at 1 outside the zone. Break for Livingston. Misses again.
Let's count. 3-1.
Trip to the World Series of Big League Wiffle Ball on the line. 3-1 count to Rose. Breaks a screwball in on Rose's hands. It's a 3-2 count. 2 outs. Ferris on first. Ooh, just missed upstairs. Brilliant idea. Livingston's a pitcher for Paradise Valley Community College in his second year there. Full count, 2 outs, top of the first, game 1.
Also, that's not allowed.
That's not allowed. Commissioner Rose says
That pitch.
the jump pitch has been banned.
Is that a ball?
No, we're gonna call it I thought about this before the series. You have to release it. You can jump. You can't jump forward and then jump again. That's what he does.
Double jumps are not allowed, so we go back to a full count. Good job by Rose. That might have dropped into the top of the zone. One of the toughest pitches for a wiffle ball player to hit is that upper strike. Oh, and Rose just crushes it. Ferris seemed like he was sleeping on first. Maybe it's because he was so late to the game today. Slept on first. Carson Rose continued to be in fuego at the plate. What a moment for the Panthers. We predicted this. If you're going to get to Livingston, not always, but mostly it's a first inning dynamic. Someone give Mason Ferris a Red Bull. No, he didn't. Commissioner Rose has ruled. 3-0 count. That's as hard of a hit ball as you'll see against Brody Livingston. Just blew it right by land. The 3-0 count, 2 runners on, 2 outs as the Panthers threaten early here in this series. One ball away from loading them up. And that's 5 straight balls. What's going on with Brody Livingston? And arguably the best hitter in the league last year, Mason Ferris, will step to the plate. Two outs. Bases juice. Game 1. 68 miles an hour. Bends it in beautifully. Oh, and Ferris takes it. That's going to be a triple. That's 3 runs.
Triple.
This announcer should go to Vegas for predicting what just happened in the first inning. What a start for the Pacific Panthers. All with 2 outs. And here comes a hitter as hot as the weather, Carson Rose. Leaves it outside. Question for the Panthers is how much can they score in Brody Livingston, because the Extreme are going to score almost undoubtedly against the Panthers. Great pitch, good swing.
If Mason is on, that's huge.
Let's do a 3-1 count at 68 miles an hour. Man on third, 2 outs as the Panthers continue to threaten here in game 1. Carson Rose was all over that. That's an interference. Why don't you get those cut?
Yeah, I know. It would have been foul anyway. Yeah. Spin anyway, so.
The Panthers have Rose and Ferris rolling today. This series could get very interesting very quick. 1-2. 2 out. What's the count?
3-2.
3-2, my bad. Henry Stratton says 3-2.
It started off too low.
Scoreboard, it says 3-2.
Oh, and yes, he did. Rose bails him out, but not before the Panthers get 3 runs on a big triple and a big first inning at the plate from Mason Ferris. Hero of the series against the Wolves.
Did you grab the pencil bat?
We go to the bottom of the first
Dude.
with the Panthers leading.
Actually, just leave it in there for now. Leave
This one? This
no,
one's,
the pencil bat.
I don't know what the pencil bat
It's
is.
like a pencil.
Here, I got it.
Worst case, they could use ours, though. I want to snap before as well.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The Panthers are choosing to go with Logan Christie. Question is whether his stuff is good enough to keep the big hitting extreme at bay. They do have Carson Rose that could come in relief. Rose probably has been hurt by the velocity limit more than any pitcher in the league.
Could you also push this down? This like tripod, we're not using that. It's too high. Yeah, thank you.
Did you say is the foul line?
It's the inside one. Yeah, it was not a good job that I did.
And we are ready to go. Carson Rose traded for Logan Christie at the deadline, giving his team a boost. Logan Christie's going to have a challenging time with the sweet swinging Brody Livingston. Always a threat to go deep. Always a threat to put the ball in play. Mason Ferguson left. Rosen right. Not a lot of movement on that one. One. That did have a lot of movement. It's 70 miles an hour. Are the players able to see Commissioner Rose, the velocity, or are we continuing to announce it? Continuing to announce it on that 70-mile-an-hour screwball from Christie. 2-1 count. Panthers have jumped out to an early 3-0 lead here in Game 1 of this 3-game series. And Livingston hits it to Ferris, who finally makes the play. Butterfingers last series, sure-handed today. What a defensive play from Ferris. That ball had a ton of spin on it. Our viewers cannot appreciate how difficult that play was. And Evan Land, monster at the plate. Has been an infrequent participant this year, but he looked as sharp as he ever has in the last series, hitting a number of home runs, 8 or 9 singles. Christie misses inside. Jams Land, good location from the right-hander. Carson Rose has had to manage a lot with the Panthers this year. You'll notice Christie wearing a Mike Cross shirt, expected to be a big contributor to the Panthers, only to retire early in the season. 2-1. Goes upstairs again, gets Land to chase. And what a screwball from Christie. And he jumps ahead with 2 quick outs. And here comes the hockey player, Reed Umar. Can he be as good of a hitter as is his sense of humor? Captain of Walloon Bay, hero of last year's World Series Game 5. He woke up early. He wants a title repeat. Good sinker from Christie. Umar, 78.
Let's
Hey, hang on.
66.
66. 78 on the follow-through. Umar is one of the league's most improved players. Rumblings that he may go out for varsity baseball, too. 0-1 count. 69 miles an hour. Christie looking sharp here early in the series. About 101 degrees already at 9:15 in the morning with muggy conditions. One, two outs. Nobody on. No, he didn't.
Oh.
No. No one's saying.
No, I know. That's
2-2 count. Leaves it upstairs. Once ahead, 0-2. Umar's gotten back in the count at 3-2. Sporting double batting gloves. Off his dome. He's a hockey player. He laughs at that. He eats pucks for breakfast. Take wiffle ball off the head. It's no big deal. Full count. And that is a pivotal moment in the game that would have brought Brody Livingston to the plate. Instead, Umar looks at one right down the middle. Christie gets out of a jam. And we go to the top of the second with the Panthers holding a surprising 3-0 lead.
I see. It's right there.
Extreme will be going as they were in the first inning with Evan Land in left, Reed Umar in right, and Brody Livingston on the mound. Team looks a little deflated. They need something good to happen. A little shell-shocked after that first inning from the Panthers. Batter up.
Can I get that bat?
Both teams hydrating here on a hot and humid Saturday morning. And it'll be Logan Christie leading it off. 70 miles an hour. 72. What a bender. Our viewers cannot appreciate how much movement there was on that pitch. And he's going right back to it. Best bling of the day goes to Reed Umar in right. What a chain he's wearing. Don't know if he got it in Arizona or Michigan, but he's looking good in right. Here we go. 2-2 count to Logan Christie.
Oh, we got the speed on here now.
Really good take from Christie. And he pops it up to Livingston, who makes the play. But the thing you got to look at, Henry Stratton, is the Panthers keep putting pressure on Livingston. Not a lot of strikeouts for the Southpaw. Is that surprising you here today?
It actually is, because Panthers coming in here as the 4 seed, already getting an upset through the first half of this playoffs and possibly getting another one here today.
I like it. That's Henry Stratton, color commentator today. Glad to have him in the booth. The Mason Ferris, who had the big triple in the first inning with the bases juiced. That's the Mason Ferris we remembered from last year. Didn't see him a lot against the Wolves. We're seeing him early against the Extreme. Ferris will soon be heading off to BYU, Idaho, to be a freshman there. Swing looks good. Livingston, nice pitch, jams him inside. He jumps ahead in the count 1-2 on that 70-mile-an-hour slider.
It should be showing.
Good.
Livingston spikes it, wastes one. 2-2 count. Throwing a lot of pitches here. Livingston's in great shape, but we don't care who you are. This heat's going to get to you sooner or later. Blows it by Ferris. That's 2 outs for the Panthers as they look to add to their 3-0 lead. Carson Rose continues to track Livingston like a grizzly bear at his prey. Down low. That's the thing about Livingston. He's upstairs, downstairs, right, left. Never know quite what's going to come at you. One of the finest pitchers in American wiffle ball, but he finds himself behind 3-0 here. And he quick pitches Rose, who should know better than that. Down he goes. The Extreme limit the damage. And they'll come up in the bottom of the second, still trailing 3-0. Logan Christie does not take a lot of warm-ups. If you would have seen him after the last series against the Wolves, he was laboring like in a 1,500-meter sprinter at the Olympics, falling to the ground at times, asking for water. The big question right now in this series is, can Logan Christie keep the big bats of the Extreme at bay? And here comes the biggest one of them all, Brody Livingston, who popped out his first time up. 68 miles an hour. Ferris, who had a real nice play on the pop out against Livingston his first time up. One count. Here to start the bottom of the second. 70 miles an hour. Livingston missed an opportunity there. And he really took a lot off that, got Livingston to chase. And Christie's not the hardest thrower in the league, Henry Stratton, but very, very crafty. What are you seeing from him today?
I'm seeing stuff that I wouldn't be able to hit myself.
Humility in the booth is a very beautiful thing. We appreciate that, Henry Stratton. Up steps Evan Land. Really good looking screwball from 22. Luke Rose, another great player in the league, has a favorite song by Survivor, Eye of the Tiger. Logan Christie looks to have that today. Extreme just they seem a little disoriented here today. It's not the same team we saw to end the regular season. Number 1 seed needs a lift. Maybe a spiritual lift from Barrett Livingston. Something, anything. Not sure what that was from Christie, but what's the count? 2-1?
2-2.
2-2 count. One out here in the bottom of the second.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did, Commissioner Rose says.
We'll look, but yes, he did.
And that's the second out of the inning. Quick replay says, yes, he did. And it will be Reed Umar. Sporting a little Alice Cooper look today. 2 quick outs for the right-hander. Umar is going to be a key player in this series. If he can get on a few times, gives the big bats behind him a chance. That, what are we just saying? Reed Umar does not choose to go to second. And this announcer is going to Vegas after the game with Logan Christie to gamble because he has called it on 3 straight occasions here. And it's one of those moments, brings a home run from Livingston, would bring it back to a 3-2 game. Fouls it off. Umar does his job. First hit of the game for the Extreme. Another pitch to hit. But advantage Christie ahead in the count 0-2. Always a dangerous moment. Muy peligroso when you're facing Livingston. And he gets him swinging on a screwball. Down go the Extreme, who will be down to their last at bats when we get to the bottom of the third. The Panthers still with a commanding 3-0 lead. And we are back live at Rose Field. You know, the Extreme, the unlikely champions last year, did it with Reed Umar, Brody Livingston, and Barrett Livingston. The Extreme have bolstered their roster, which in part helped them to the #1 seed. Be quite remarkable if they're not able to pull this series out against the 4-seeded Panthers. But we're ahead of ourselves. The Extreme have shown resilience throughout their time in big league wiffle ball and surely will flex at some point today. Top of the third will be Logan Christie leading it off for the Panthers. Henry Stratton, does Logan Christie have a hit yet in this game?
I do believe so.
He has a no. He does not. He's
Looking for his first hit of the series, but has been very sharp, helping his team on the mound. Umar back and right, Landon left. 0-1 count. Different dynamic playing in the morning here at Rose Field than it is at night or in the late afternoon. Sun different. Really pounds on those players. Christie puts it in play. That's going to be an infield single. Once again, 4 for 4 this announcer is on predicting something about to happen.
Someone put him at the blackjack table.
Someone, whether it's Vegas or an Indian casino, that's where he'll be this afternoon. Talking Stick is not too far away, but we'll remind you that Gila River Resorts and Casinos is the new presenting sponsor for the Bentley Scottsdale Polo Championships, returning October 26th to Westworld of Scottsdale. Nice pitch from Livingston. Striker ball.
strike.
Strike. 0-1 count. Ferris has reverted to 23 form here in this semifinal series, lays off that riser. One. Christie gets
A lot of the altitude guys are around the Extreme.
75 miles an hour.
No pitch.
No pitch.
2-1.
Like a great chef, Livingston seems to be searching for what recipe in the kitchen is going to work against this Panthers team. They're putting pressure on him, just putting the ball in play, probably as much as any team has all year. Nobody out. 4-1.
Yep.
4-1 count. Advantage Ferris. Ferris looked to be taking the whole way on that one, interestingly. And that's a walk. Livingston is throwing a lot of pitches. 2 on, nobody out.
I wonder if they'll put Evan in.
The 4 at bat so far for Carson Rose against Brovey Livingston was advantage Rose the first 2, advantage Livingston the last 2. Took a lot off that at 64. Smart move by Livingston. Carson Rose rocking number 6 for the Panthers, which was famously worn by Walter Davis of the Phoenix Suns in the late 80s. The Greyhound is what they called Walter Davis. University of North Carolina graduate, Henry Stratton. All right, back to the action. 1-1 count to Rose. Thought he had something to hit and said he's swing and miss. And he blows it by him again at 70 miles an hour. Rose has cooled off. Important out there for Livingston. Can he get out of this jam to give his team any chance against Logan Christie and the Panthers? Good swing, 67 miles an hour. And Livingston's starting to heat up. Oh, 2 now. 1 out. Waste 1 upstairs.
That's going to go like a 60-mile-an-hour pitch watch.
The scouting report knew what was coming. Announcer didn't want to say it. Christie fell prey to that strategy from Livingston. And here comes Mr. Triple. In the first, with the bases loaded, Ferris's triple gave his team a 3-0 lead as he looks to effectively put this game away here. 71. Good movement. Livingston's starting to get ahead in the count now. One, 2 outs. Carson Rose on second, Logan Christie on first. Top of the last here in Game 1 of this semifinal series between the Extreme and the Panthers. And that's it for the Panthers, but they'll go to the bottom of the last, leading 3-0. There's the Panthers, who had an improbable run to the championship in 2022. Can they continue to defy the odds here in 24? Viewers love Logan Christie because he takes few, if any, warm-ups. Looking to conserve energy. Been sharp already today, and it'll be Evan Land leading it off for the Extreme. They need base runners. Anything can happen in BLW. We saw it happen in the Wolves versus the Panthers. We saw it in the Altitude versus somebody. Evan Land behind the count, 0-1. Goes to that dropping sinker again, as opposed to a rising sinker. Oxymoronic by this announcer. 1-1 count to Evan Land. Land looks like he may have had a big night at the bars last night, because he is looking to get on track here in this series. One, 2 count. Land can take it out at any moment. Just missed inside. Nice pitch by Christie. Good job by Land to lay off that pitch. 3-2 count now. Extreme needs something, anything to get a rally started. Land stays alive on that slider from 22. 22 for our Spanish listeners around the country. Harrison left, Rosen right. And that's a jams Land. Similar result as Reed Umar last time up. And that 2 steps to the plate now.
Just gets
had a rocket hit to left center in the second inning. Has gone from 2 gloves to 1 glove, doing his best Michael Jackson impression. Not sure why he made that move. Good swing from Umar. You would have seen Umar a couple, 2-3 years ago in the league. He's hardly recognizable today. Really has improved at the plate against some brutally tough pitching. 67, 1-2 now. And that is it. We hadn't seen that pitch from Christie. Like a magician, he's got a few tricks up his sleeve that he's been waiting to show. And the Extreme are down to their last out here in Game 1. No team has scored since the top of the first. Can Livingston get the rally started? Been chasing that sinker all day long. Ferris playing very deep and left. 0-2. Down to their last strike here in Game 1. Stranger things have happened, such as Corbin Carroll hitting one out with 2 strikes last night to tie this game against the Rays. Two outs. 1-2 count. And that is it. The Panthers surprise the wiffle ball world. We won't use the word shock, Henry Stratton, but we'll use the word surprise. As they got to Livingston early, made it stand up. They captured Game 1, 3-0. We'll see you soon for Game 2. Welcome back to Big League Wiffle Ball's semifinal series between the number 4 seeded Pacific Panthers and the top seeded Eastern Extreme. If you were watching Game 1, you might have been as surprised as we were to see the Pacific Panthers jump out to an early 3-0 lead, make it hold up, and they are looking to close out the Eastern Extreme season. Quite a run the Extreme have had, but are they going to see it ended at the hands of the Pacific Panthers, the 2022 champions, and almost a complete roster remake by Captain Carson Rose? It was Mason Ferris's big triple in Game 1 that cleared the bases for the Panthers. Not a lot of hitting after that, after stellar pitching from Brody Livingston and Logan Christie. Carson Rose is choosing to stay with the hot hand, and Logan Christie, who shut out the Extreme. He flew in from Las Vegas early this morning. And the Extreme, who only had one hit against Christie, courtesy of Reed Umar, are looking to get on track here in Game 2. It's win or go home for the Eastern Extreme. Panthers will start anew with Carson Rose in right. And the BYU Idahoan, Mason Ferris in left. Livingston talking to himself again on that sinker. Christie doesn't throw hard, but he's crafty, Henry Stratton. He's crafty. Right back up the middle. First hit of the series. Nice defensive play from Rose. Nothing they could do on that infield single, thanks to the quick bat of Livingston. The Extreme looking to do to the Panthers what the Panthers did to the Extreme in Game 1 and jump out as the visiting team to an early lead. Really good location on that 64-mile-an-hour screwball from 22. And chases one upstairs in a deep hole at 0-2. Fouls it outside of the zone. A reminder, you foul it into the zone on 2 strikes. That is a strikeout in Big League Wiffle Ball. Oh, 2 still. Back to the riser. Yes, he does again. It's a tale of 2 lands, last series versus this series. But don't count him out yet. And here comes the bling man, Reed Umar, the captain of Walloon Bay, the holder of the only hit from Game 1 for the Extreme. Umar has deceptive power. Famously took one out to dead center deep off Logan Rose in last year's Game 5 World Series. Jumps ahead in the count, Umar does. 2-0. Desperation for the Extreme, as they must win 2 in a row to beat the Panthers now. Livingston on first. Umar ahead in the count, 3-0. Christie looking to stay sharp as he was in Game 1. Top of the first. Really good location from the right-hander on that. Gets back in the count at 3-2. Blows it by him at 67. Umar will go to first, bringing Livingston to the plate, who had his first hit of the series last time up. Logan Christie looks a little Abe Lincoln with that beard. 7 years ago. This is his Gettysburg Address here at Rose Field. You don't reference assassins here in the booth. 1-1 count to Livingston. Back in play. Can Rose make it? No, he can't. Yes, he does. Yes, he's out. What a play. Our readers may not be able to see that, but the ball started foul and had so much spin on it. It came back in play. And Carson Rose, Brody Livingston wants to go to the replay.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Carson Rose played it beautifully.
Dude, we should.
Call on the field was out. Carson Rose had his foot on the bag as he reached out with one hand like a grizzly bear in Alaska, pawing a salmon, and makes the play. That was a big moment for the Extreme. How did Carson Rose do that with the spin with one hand? But how does a grizzly bear catch a salmon, Henry Stratton, in Alaska, going upstream?
It's just if he had possession or not, which he clearly did. So, well, I mean,
Commissioner Rose has ruled that possession was in hand. He clearly had his foot on the bag. Notwithstanding the conflict of interest between brothers, we will let the video replay stand. And the Extreme might have had something going there. Livingston trying to rally his team. Did a nice job after the first inning, keeping the Panthers at bay. Livingston quickly jumps ahead 0-2. Carson Rose leads it off with a lineup that worked there in game one. Chases it upstairs. Rose started out so strong, now confused by Livingston. Logan Christie trying to help himself. A battle of 22s here. Southpaw with a little more moxie. He is finding his rhythm here, but in big league wiffle ball, it can just be that one swing for either team that decides it all. 2-2?
2-1.
2-1. What did Logan Christie do? He popped it up!
Foul ball.
Foul ball!
That was going to be in the house. Yeah,
Logan Rose's groundskeeping crew has not really kept up with the needs here at Rose Field with this big Palo Verde overhang that affects right-handed hitters. 2-2 count. One out. Nobody on. We go full. That's a walk. In that case, Henry Stratton, Brody Livingston really didn't seem to have a good handle on his balls. What do you think about that?
I think it just comes down to confidence, and after that first game, getting up 3 runs early, it seems that he's lost a bunch of it.
Gets back ahead of Ferris. 0-1. Panthers with their first man on here in game 2. Nowhere close to the zone. Ferris chases it. Has defended in on the black. Doesn't get there, but remains way ahead in the count at 1-2. The number one seeded Extreme in the battle of their lives here in the semifinals. Two. And he chases a worm burner. Maybe he was expecting that to rise, but it'll be up to Carson Rose, who can go deep at any time. One of the league leaders in hits and home runs throughout the regular season. Oh, and he had a pitch to hit. Took something off at 63. Oh, and we just called it again. 5 for 5, Henry Stratton. Carson Rose goes deep to right. Vegas is in our future, or Talking Stick Resort and Casino. You, me, Logan Rose, and whoever else wants to go to Gila River Resorts and Casinos, the presenting sponsor of the Scottsdale Polo Party. As happened in Game 1, the Panthers have jumped out to an early lead at 2-0. Logan Christie with a bullet. Nice play by Umar to get to it, to keep it to a single. This is as hard as we have seen Brody Livingston hit in 2 or 3 years. But that was the secret to this series coming in. Panthers are a very good hitting team, just as the Coastal Cougars were. But pitching prevailed, courtesy of Mike Toohey, as the altitude beat back the big hitting Cougars. Are we going to see the opposite happen here today? 0-2 count to Ferris. And he hits it to right. Umar makes the play. That's not. It's a fair ball. Umar drops the ball.
He touched it in fair territory.
Tough play. Reed Umar, one of the best defensive players in the league, almost had another gem. As the Panthers look to blow it open here in Game 2. First and third, 2 outs. And the hero of the first, Carson Rose, after a 2-run blast. And he hits it. Go off the wall. That'll be a 3rd run. Ferris will get to 3rd. And they are lighting up Brody Livingston here in Game 2. First inning troubles again for the likely MVP of the league. He is talking to himself on the mound. Everyone's wondering what's going on. Panthers at the plate as hot as the weather. Logan Christie steps up, cools everyone off by fanning at that one. And he has really upped his tempo, looking to be different, doing something wisely. It's like a tennis player who just can't figure out his opponent quite yet. Try something different. That's what Livingston seems to be doing now. Behind 3-0, first and third, 2 outs. Three-two. Perfect bender there. The Extreme finally get out of the inning, but not before an almost exact replica of Game 1, in which the Panthers jumped out to a 3-0 lead. And the Panthers, as the visiting team, only have 2 at-bats left. Commissioner Logan Rose, remind the viewers what the Extreme's record was coming in to this series. 13-2?
12-3.
12-3.
Best by a team ever.
Best record by a team in the history of Big League Wiffle Ball. Evan Land at the plate, looking for his first hit. A league veteran. They need him now more than ever.
Got it.
Let's count.
2-0 count.
1-1.
1-1. That's 2. Break for the Panthers. That screwball from Christie seems to have a little more movement than usual and is really befuddled left-handed hitters for the Extreme. Do you know what befuddled means, Henry Stratton?
I couldn't give you the definition of it.
Next time.
Tipped it.
Tipped it out of the zone. That's a strikeout. Makes quick work of Land here in the top of the second. The Extreme have had their backs against the wall repeatedly throughout their tenure in BLW, but this is as pronounced as it's ever been. Can they ignite a comeback? Will it start with Umar? Quickly falls behind 0-2. Panthers on their toes, sensing it. Into the zone. That's a strikeout. And up steps Brody Livingston.
They just don't walk people. Tui, Brandy, Christie, they never walk. He has no walks today. That's the difference.
Livingston will likely be among the final two for MVP, along with Mike Tui, veteran and rookie. They finished 1-2 in the home run derby. Livingston just trying to give his team something, anything right now. Just 4 outs left for the Extreme. 1-1 count. Downstairs. For the Extreme, it's got to start with base runners. You can't get it all back at one time. Just missed. Right idea, but advantage Livingston at 3-1. Two men out, top of the second. Guess what's likely to happen on this pitch? 4-1. Livingston swings at a ball outside the zone on a 4-1 count. We go full. Christie's success so far is surprising, Henry Stratton. It really is. Full count, 2 outs. And he pops it up to Mason Ferris, who makes another great play. That's 2 nearly identical plays by Ferris, who struggled defensively against the Wolves, but has shown up at the plate and in the field here. The Extreme are down to their last at bat when they come up in the top of the third, but before then, the Panthers have a chance to extend their lead, already up in the series, 1-0.
It was the exact same play. It is so hard to square his pitches. I don't know why. It's the weirdest thing ever. So you can see when it comes off the bat how much spin there is. It's strange.
Ready to go. Panthers have a spring in their step, sensing something special.
Christie up.
Mason Ferris will lead it off.
Oh, no.
No.
Christie's up.
Sorry.
No, Mason's up. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Our bad.
Did Christie shoot?
1-0 count. Bottom of the second.
Christie struck out, didn't he? I don't think Can you polish?
Nice job by Livingston. Jams Ferris inside. Down he goes. Livingston must get out of this inning with no damage if the Extreme have any chance to salvage this game and this series. 2 strikes. That's a wrap. Carson Rose has had the big hit in this game. The 2-run blast in the first gave his team a 2-0 lead and then hit a double to left to drive in Ferris. And he hits another laser that Lang can't find it. And Rose, he has not called the ball. Interesting.
Like
Rose,
5 of those.
Rose just hitting bullets. Land chose not to call it out of play. Nice pitch by 22 against 22. Tried to leave it upstairs. Right up the middle. Is Rose going to try to score? No, he doesn't. 1 out in the inning. The Panthers threatening again.
This isn't.
And these are not infield singles that they are hitting. Something is in the air for the Panthers. Livingston has got to get out of this jam. Body posture is not good, but his pitching is. Gets ahead of Ferris, 1-2. 1 out, which means Carson Rose will be coming to the plate again. What a pitch by Houdini. Down goes Ferris. One of the most creative pitches you will ever see. And it's been an incredible battle between these two here today. Burston. Nice job by Carson Rose to lay off that inside-out pitch. Ooh, a lot of movement there. 2-1 count? 1-2. That pitch just nicked it for Livingston. Carson Rose in his last 3 at-bats has a home run, a single, and a double. First and third, 2-on. Goes back to that magic pitch. Oh, and that's in play. That is going to be another run on the infield single. What a break for the Panthers. Livingston might have had a chance at the plate if he would have fielded it cleanly. Carson Rose with 4 consecutive hits off one of America's best wiffle ball pitchers. And they remain threatening. First and second, 2 outs. Logan Christie has gotten untracked. The heat is getting to anyone, and it's getting to Livingston. 66 miles an hour. Velocity's down. What happened to the Panthers in 2022? They just got hot. Started out 1-8, then marched to the championship through the best teams in the league. Chases it down low. 2-2 count. 2 outs. Great movement from Livingston on that pitch. And he bends it in like Beckham, but not before the Panthers get one more run. And the Extreme are down to their last out. Having lost game 1, they need 4 runs or go home.
They did this last year. They came back.
The Extreme have had incredible comebacks throughout their team history. Carson Rose continuing to go with the hot hand. Logan Christie at the plate. He's taken no warm-ups. They are sensing it. Starts strong, Christie does. What an upset this would be. The 4 seed taking out the 1 seed. But that's the beauty of big league wiffle ball, where anything can happen. Commissioner Logan Rose might trademark that phrase soon. 1-2. Henry Stratton, what is it about Logan Christie? He doesn't throw that hard, but they're not squaring him up. Why is that?
I think it's because you can call him Houdini, the way he can make these balls move in the air, and it's honestly miraculous.
And that nicked it.
No, it was low. That was
Low.
That was low.
2-2 count. Land stays alive. Got to get base runners so they can bring the tying run to the plate, but it's not going to happen there. Logan Christie 2 outs away from a double shutout. Moore has 1 hit on the series. Rallies have to start somewhere. Good cut from Umar. Instead, all he gets is a fan and a 1-1 count. .65. Sense of inevitability has set in at Rose Field. 1-2. Can Umar interrupt that narrative? Yes, he does. Once again, 6 for 6 on the announcer calls, Henry Stratton, and Umar gives his team life. Exactly what he needed to do.
And that's what he's best at, is clutch hitting. We saw it last year in Game 5 of the World Series. He just has something about him when pressure's on him.
And that is color commentator and friend Henry Stratton in the booth. Livingston looking to square up a ball for the first time today. Potentially slice the lead in half. Christie jumps ahead 0-1. Fouls it off. Christie with the advantage now. He's got 5 balls to work with. He can pick his spots. Ferris really deep in left, trying to prevent anything there. And that's it for Livingston. Christie has gotten the better of him today. 2 outs. And just as Mason Ferris had his first hit of the series to win it against the Western Wolves in the last round, can Evan Land do the same here? Nice pitch at 70 miles an hour. 2 strikes away. Fouls it into the zone, and the Extremes 2024 season is now down to its last strike. 0-2, 2 outs. Logan Christie versus Evan Land. And that is it. In the year of the improbable, the impossible, as the great Vin Scully said. The number 4 seeded Pacific Panthers make quick work of the top seeded Eastern Extreme and will take on the number 2 seed Arctic Altitude, led by Joey Jankowski and Mike Toohey, at a time to be determined. Congratulations to both teams. What a season for the Extreme. What a playoff performance by the Panthers. Congratulations to Commissioner Logan Rose, as we look forward to a 5-game World Series of Big League's 2024 season. Thank you for watching. We'll see